They have a frickin' organizational chart for all the staff that work on PDF Island. Anna and her kids are the only other full-time residents of this island, along with Jeffrey Epstein. She's still hanging out on Epstein's island and using his pool 2 years after Epstein allegedly died. That's kinda odd. Everyone knows about Epstein, and everybody knows about his godforsaken island. Yet, no one seems to be talking about the woman who ran the island. And no, I'm not talking about Ghislaine Maxwell. About a month ago on a Saturday night, I was looking through the Epstein files for references to Frazzled, and I ran into a conversation between Epstein and Cecile DeJohn. Now, if you're not familiar with her, she was the First Lady of the US Virgin Islands from 2007 to 2015, and she was also helping Epstein gain influence and special privileges, like getting visas for the victims to the US Virgin Islands. Cecile DeJohn deserves a whole video dedicated to herself, but right now I'm just going to try to remain focused. So in this email, Epstein is telling Cecile that Anna is frazzled, and Cecile responds saying that she understands why. The title is "They Did Not Get Off the Boat." I don't know who that "they" is, but what caught my eye is Epstein ends his statement about Anna being frazzled with 3 whole exclamation marks. And this sicko, he never uses punctuation. He has no idea what commas or periods are. It's very rare to see him use punctuations. He's quite the opposite of a grammar Nazi. So it got me wondering, who is Anna and why does Epstein care so much that she is frazzled? If you follow a particular email thread between Anna and Epstein that spans a few files, you find out that she's currently working on a showroom grand opening with designers from Paris, and there seems to be a romantic tone to the relationship between her and Epstein. She calls him "my sweetheart," and Epstein says that "I'm always there for you, don't worry." Continuing in the email, Anna thanks Epstein for noticing that she's frazzled and complains about her foundation job. She states that the internal politics of the foundation are very strange, and I am kind of wondering what foundation this is. She says she's really tired, and Epstein offers to buy her an airplane ticket. If you've spent any time looking through these emails, you'll notice that Epstein's emails are very much so a personification of him. It's very cold, very lacking in emotion, yet in these emails he seems to show a certain level of care and emotion towards this Anna woman. So I kept following the name Anna. But then something started to feel a little off. The context of the communication between Epstein and Anna shifted. The relationship felt different. Less romantic, more administrative, like an employer to an employee feel to it. And that's when I ran into a different Anna, Anna Rodriguez. Now a quick note, Anna Rodriguez is spelled as A-N-A, and A-N-N, and A-N-N-A. And I have a theory on why different people in the emails spell her name differently, but we'll get into that later. Now, there's a lot of communication between Epstein, Anna, and Epstein's girlfriend Karina in these emails, spanning over years. They are in constant communication. It almost reminds me of middle school girls who just got their first cell phone and now they're constantly texting their best friend, even if their best friend is like right next to them. Epstein's girlfriend Karina is asking Anna to pack some of Epstein's Earl Grey tea for travel the following day. Anna is sending Epstein pictures of the master bedroom flooring work that's being done. Karina is asking Anna to measure the master bedroom mattress. They are asking her to take pictures of every room on the island. This isn't just a regular housekeeper or maintenance person. She is trusted with the master bedroom, full access to the island, even being asked to pack personal belongings and items for Epstein himself. But Anna isn't just taking instructions from Epstein and his girlfriend. She's also giving instructions to the remaining island staff. There are emails showing Anna's having the other island staff do the work of cleaning seaweed that has invaded the the Great St. James Island beach with pitchforks, rakes, and shovels, along with instances of Epstein's girlfriend Karina telling Anna to tell other staff to fix a broken power socket in the kitchen, to have the maids throw away dead flowers, and Anna's even advocating for the island contractors to get a Thanksgiving bonus. So clearly Anna is an employee, but she's not just another employee. She is trusted, empowered, and acting almost like a manager for the island, handling tasks that span the whole property, and not just for Little St. James, but also for Great St. James. But we're not limited to just a string of emails to prove Anna's managerial position under Epstein's employment. We got hard proof in the form of a document listing the official staff and employees of the Jeffrey Epstein principal in Little St. James Island. Almost like a staff directory. In fact, pretty much exactly like a staff directory. And I have a pipe dream that the FBI will interview every single one of these people, especially the island manager. What can I say? A girl wants what she can't have. That document leaves no doubt. Anna Rodriguez is the official Little St. James Island manager, but titles only tell a part of the story. Before we proceed with Anna Rodriguez's emails and personal life and social media, if you enjoy digging through the public catacombs we call the internet, please subscribe. My goal is to grow the Catacomb clan to 100 strong in a few months by my birthday, so if you can help me do that, I'd really appreciate it. And now, back to the video. The emails reveal that Anna's juggling it all, supervising, coordinating, and yeah, sure, that's what managers do, but she's also cleaning and fixing and doing every and an odd thing around the island. Some tasks could easily be considered below the managerial level that she officially holds, yet they show just how much Epstein and Karina rely on Anna for everything, and I mean every little thing. Oh, Anna, make sure to pick up some fresh bananas. And don't forget, Epstein prefers organic. Oh, also, I need the measurement of the windows. Make sure to get some fresh salmon and fresh beans while you're at it. Oh, Anna, please move Epstein's t-shirts from Little St. James over to Great St. James. While you're at it, can you grab me the rug dimensions and cabana too? Don't forget to grab some fresh basil while you're at it. Ooh, also Haagen-Dazs ice cream and chocolate and rum raisin flavor too. Please have Peter go get some fresh coconuts. Can you check to make sure we have a box spring in the master bedroom on Little St. James Island? Great St. James too. And have someone take care of the leaky fridge, will ya? Yoo-hoo! Oh, Anna! Go find the towels I bought 9 months ago. Oh, Anna! Also do a towel and linen count, please. Anna responded to this one saying she checked the master, the housekeeping, cost you less, and tunnels? Why is she looking for bed linens in the tunnels? You know what? I don't want to know. The way these people email and just talk in general drives me nuts. Next, they're gonna be like, oh, Anna, can you wipe my ass for me, please? And don't get me wrong, I have zero sympathies for Anna. She is the manager of PDF File Island. See, Anna is the island manager, but she's also much more than that. She is the go-to person for Epstein and Karina for anything and everything that goes on this island. And as we proceed, I think it would be good for all of us to think, with all the access and authority she had on the island, is it possible that she did not know what was going on? And they have an org chart. They have a frickin' organizational chart for all the staff that work on PDF Island. You already know I can't help myself. We're gonna have to take a look through this. Alright, let's see what we got here. So here's our girl, Anna Rodriguez. She's listed as the field manager for both Little St. James and Great St. James. Reporting to her are, let's see, the marine guys, the maintenance people, engineering, and landscape. Why are there so many landscaping people here? Let's see, 3, 6, 9, which doesn't include the compound landscaping. They got 11 landscaping staff. Well, you know, you can't let the other billionaires judge how poorly maintained your shrubberies on your private island are, right? Oh, I see. It's split between Little St. James and Great St. James, but I still feel like 11 staff dedicated just to general landscaping is a bit outrageous. We got 3 dedicated painters. We got the housekeeping team. Looks like we got Jermaine as the IT manager. Boy, would I like to know what Jermaine knows. We got Richard Kahn for finance. I've definitely seen his name pop up quite a few times in the emails. Looks like they're planning on hiring a purchasing person for finance, a house manager for both islands, and a director of properties, which would kind of explain why Anna is doing so much stuff that seems kind of out of her purview. It looks like until they can hire these other positions, Anna is filling in for director of properties and house manager and also purchasing. And it looks like people actually recommended Anna to be promoted to director of properties. However, this fella named John over here sent a letter to Epstein completely cucking Anna, saying that she's not the best manager and a reduced role will give her a better chance of succeeding. She just simply has too much on her plate. Which I would agree with. Like, as a manager, you're not supposed to be fixing the leaky fridge, you're supposed to be getting someone else to fix it and clean it. A good manager is supposed to train and delegate, but that does not stop Anna from trying to do literally everything and anything. I mean, she's even cooking Epstein's food, for crying out loud. Are you the chef or are you the island manager? Pick one. John is such a little rat. He is telling Epstein and sending him pictures about how dirty the manager's cottage is. He says, flies everywhere, filthy kitchen, filthy floors, trash, unsanitary, and then points out that Anna's cooking Epstein's food there, and perhaps his food should be cooked in the main kitchen to avoid these unsanitary conditions. We have another email titled Muffins, where Karina and Epstein are discussing the ingredients various staff use to cook Epstein's breakfast muffins. And they go into quite a great detail. Epstein has a certain preference. Karina says that Lynn and Anna use the same recipe, and Anna uses the ingredients from Lynn, and Epstein responds with, ask Lynn to make a batch with almond flour. Each one can send you a muffin FedEx. They're supposed to FedEx Epstein's girlfriend muffins to, rate them? I don't know. And then he says, I'm not asking for a cure for cancer, just a muffin. Jeez. Such a fucking asshole. If this is not the definition of a rich, entitled snob, I don't really know what is. On a separate email, Karina tells Anna, don't put sugar in the muffin toppings mix, just in the main muffin mix. They're really particular about their muffins. And I got one final email to show you regarding food. And here, Epstein and his girlfriend are discussing how wasteful the whole setup is, where someone has to take a trip on the boat 4 to 6 times to St. Thomas, so we're wasting gas and car trips, and then we're buying food that's not even eaten because Epstein is only eating the yogurt that he brought back from Paris. And then this is kind of where we enter his racist arc. He eats the tuna and egg salad that Anna made without any direction, though there is that same old shitty processed ham and packaged smoked salmon, food of the blacks in the fridge, along with 5 Parmesan cheese. Damn, dude, Black's got pretty good taste. Fucking smoked salmon, hell yeah. Jeffrey Epstein seems to trust Anna enough to consume the food that she makes for him. We got a few more unique and fun tasks that Anna is assigned that we're going to talk about prior to moving on to Anna's socials, family, and what she gets in return for being the island manager of Jeffrey Epstein. Here, Anna is coordinating the fixing of some plumbing issues they're having with the blocked cabana toilets, and I just thought that it was interesting. The plumber pulled out a large amount of feminine hygiene stuff out of the toilets. I guess that's why it was being blocked. Oh gee, I wonder where such a large amount of feminine hygiene products could be coming from to end up in the cabanas on this island. We got a text exchange between Anna and Epstein where she's like, Happy Hanukkah, boss man! Happy birthday, son! I guess she's being kind of sarcastic there. Smiley face, XOXO. I don't know, that's not how I would speak to my boss, but I guess they're pretty close. Happy Father's Day, XOXO. She says later on, the girls are back. Which girls? And I am wondering if this is Anna's girls who also live on the island, or it's the girls, the victims, but I don't really have a way of knowing for sure. And then Anna's asking Epstein if a certain somebody or someones should meet Epstein at the Jet Center at 2:30. Oh, they just pulled up to the Jet Center. And 2 months later, they go into a discussion about Senate members, including Delegate Plaskett. We got a text thread between Anna and Epstein regarding the damage done to the island by a storm in 2017. And it looks like they are constantly worried about a new storm hitting every year. That might be a downside of living on a little island in the middle of an ocean. You can kind of see that the trees got it rough after the storm. Inside of the pedo temple, everything is sort of wrecked. It's a mess, broken lamps everywhere. Some of the trees are missing leaves. Some of them are just completely missing the top half and just knocked over. Inside the house is a mess. We get some pictures of the surrounding areas and the cabanas later on, the pool. Yep, here's the cabanas. The hangar? I guess he has a helicopter, which I shouldn't be too surprised by, considering who this guy is. And we get a tailplate number for the helicopter. Alright, for the sake of brevity, I decided I'm not gonna show anything related to the plate number. If you guys want to look further, it is N331JE. If you do a brief search, you're just going to end up with a list of the various shell companies that Epstein had and information on this particular helicopter. We have a thread from Anna to Jeffrey with the finance guy Richard Kahn CC'd in, where they're discussing the Great Wall of Little St. James. Yes, they're building a huge wall. I don't know if that's supposed to help with storms or with privacy. That is quite the wall they're building there. And finally, Karina is giving Anne the combination to Jeffrey Epstein's black box that he travels with. I don't know what's inside this black box, but Anna must be really well trusted by Epstein and Karina if they're just giving out the combination to the box. We know she is well trusted. I mean, Epstein is eating food she's cooking. They're giving her the combination to his black box. She is allowed to go into the tunnels and the cabanas and the master bedrooms on both islands. She is given a great amount of freedom to roam and do as she will on these islands as a part of her job. And she is being worked like a pack animal. But I want to know, what is Anna getting just beyond pay for this position? I mean, the amount of work she's doing, it suggests to me there needs to be some additional compensation. She's really going above and beyond for this sick bastard. Well, for starters, in addition to her base pay, Epstein has been giving Anna a $3,000 a month bonus, but not just for 1 month, every month going forward since 2013. That's not how bonuses work. That's just a really sizable pay bump. When Anna needs money, she has access to the Bank of Epstein for loans. Here, she's requesting a loan of $1,000 to fix a septic issue she's having where she resides, and Epstein tells his finance guy Richard Kahn to go ahead and just give her $5,000 instead. And as you can see in this email, the title spells Anna's name as A-N-N-A, and that's just going back to we've seen variations of A-N-N, A-N-A, and A-N-N-A, and based on the context of the information and her last name Rodriguez, this is all the same person. My theory for why there's so much variation in her name is actually Anna, A-N-N-A, and sometimes she shortens that to Ann, A-N-N, but other staff on the island who perhaps have not seen her name written down before assume it's spelled A-N-A, and she doesn't really seem to correct them. So all three variations, as long as it's the last name Rodriguez and it's in the context of managing the island, we're talking about the same person. When Epstein is feeling generous, Anna gets to sleep in from work a little bit. She's even listed as someone who will be getting money from the Epstein estate to the tune of $5 million. Guys, I just figured out who the other Anna is. You know, the Anna who was frazzled, which is not the island manager Anna, but led us to the island manager Anna. So it turns out she's like a Ukrainian art collector slash dealer and used to be a model or worked at a modeling agency. I'm gonna try to stay focused on Anna Rodriguez here, but that might be a future video topic. Okay, back to Anna Rodriguez. Epstein is also paying for her kids' tuitions. In this email, it looks like the first tuition installment is $53,000. And Epstein's like, okay. And this really circles us back around to the main perk of being a billionaire PDF Files head honcho staff for the island. And that is the perk of being able to live on a tropical island full-time without having to pay for it with your kids. But once again, you don't need to take my word for it, because we actually have access to the estate manual for Little St. James Island. A 69-page manual going into great detail about how the island is supposed to be managed on day-to-day basis, and how each and every one of the staff is expected to act and behave and work. Now on page 8 of the manual, the residents of the island are listed. And you can see here that the estate manager, the estate being Little St. James Island, the manager being Anna Rodriguez, has been living there as a resident full-time for 10 years with her 2 daughters. Now, unfortunately, there's no dates associated with this manual, and I have no way of knowing when it was created, but worst case scenario, considering Epstein got arrested in 2019, Anna Rodriguez has been living on this island as a full-time resident since at least 2009, if not prior. Now, we gain a wealth of information from this manual. For example, all the other island staff outside of the island manager are supposed to arrive on the island by boat at 7 a.m. and to depart at 5 p.m. once their work is done. Which means Anna and her kids are the only other full-time residents of this island, along with Jeffrey Epstein. Anna Rodriguez lived on this island. She didn't just work there, she was there all the time. That was her home. So is there any possible way she did not know what was going on the island? How could she have not seen all the girls coming in and leaving constantly? Is it physically, humanly possible that she didn't know what was going on in the island? In my opinion, probably not. I think she knew exactly what was going on, and she didn't care because she got the easy way to the good life. She got paid well, she got her kids' education taken care of, she got to live on a tropical island pretty much for free. We get to learn some interesting tidbits about Epstein's lifestyle on this island. For example, it is mentioned 8 different times that he prefers the room he's in to be 60 degrees, whereas the remaining rooms and guest occupancies can be 72 degrees. Or that he really likes tropical floral arrangements, and he does not want any fragrances in the air that he's breathing. That he likes to casually dress in a sweatsuit usually, or jeans and a sports shirt. When Epstein is landing on the island manager must be present to welcome Epstein, and that he likes to be served a coconut drink when he arrives on the island. Now, this document is 69 pages. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to go through the whole thing. It lists everything from how guests are to be served by the waiting staff when they're eating, what food Epstein likes to eat, there's that darn muffin again, maintenance schedule and manner for the ATVs and the boats and the vehicles on the island. So if you're interested, the dataset and document ID are right up here in the URL. Now for the big reveal. Let's put a face to the name Anna Rodriguez. Here's a screenshot of her Instagram. Now, unfortunately, I took the screenshot about a month ago in the middle of the night when I was researching and figured, oh, I'll just come back to it when I'm actually doing the video. However, within that month, it seems like she realized that people are looking into her, because now her Instagram has completely disappeared. I apologize, that's a lesson learned. I should have screenshotted the whole thing, and that's what I'm gonna do the next time. Luckily, I'm not the only cyber sleuth in town, and other people have already screenshotted some of the images. Mainly, the rest of her Instagram did have a lot of scenic shots of the island itself. Notice her username. One way to read it is anna.lsj. Another way to read it would be lilsj. as in Little St. James. And considering her middle name starts with M, not L or Ellis, I am going with the Little St. James interpretation. The only reason I was able to find her Instagram is because her kids have a unique last name, which I was able to search in conjunction with Ana Rodriguez. Now, the kids' names have finally been redacted off the files. However, I do have some screenshots that I took prior to them being redacted, so I can provide you the proof. For example, with the email regarding the tuition money for the kids. Now, before we get started on this section, because they were kids, any images I provide will be strictly after they have turned 18. And additionally, please, please, please do not go and harass anyone I'm talking about in this video. They're already receiving plenty of harassment from other people. You don't need to be joining in on that. So again, please do not reach out and harass any of these people. Now, Sierra and Emery Polian are the tale of two sisters. Even though they were raised by the same mom in the same environment, they managed to grow up completely different and juxtaposing from one another. During the school year, they both attended the same private boarding schools, received the same education and treatment, and spent the summer with their mom on Epstein's Island. And while the older sister Emery, born in 2000, so approximately 26 years old now, did well in school, got good grades, never got into trouble, and was even accepted into 3 colleges, one of which she did end up attending, ironically to study criminal justice. The story is a little different for her younger sister Sierra. Sierra was kicked out of the Piney Woods boarding school on account of being disrespectful to staff and having multiple fights with other students. The staff at the school described Sierra as disrespectful and self-consumed. Unfortunately, even her mom Anna can't handle some of Sierra's behavior. In this email, Anna discusses with Epstein what to do with Cece on account of her behavioral issues like having panic attacks and loud outbursts. Anna's thinking about sending Sierra over to live with her dad for a year, who by coincidence also happens to be named Jeff. Wow, frickin' mother of the year here. Your kid's having problems, so you're like, alright, you are your dad's problem now. Now, Sierra and Emery do communicate with Epstein directly. On Emery's case, it is pretty limited. She lets Epstein know how she's doing in college and tells him about the type of music she likes listening to. Now, because Sierra wasn't able to escape the environment she is in by attending college, we have more of a back and forth between her and Epstein. For example, she sends Epstein pictures of her repainting the grounds in front of that blue and white temple on the island, wishing Epstein happy Father's Day, happy birthday, sending him a Christmas gift, thanking him for the money and the opportunity to attend the private boarding schools, and overall just thanking him for helping support her mom and her sister. And I do want to point out, both Emery and Sierra were kids while most of this was happening. I don't think they knew what was happening on the island. I'm certainly not placing any blame on them. These emails are mostly just to show context. Heck, if this was happening in any context outside of Epstein, it would almost be sweet. A rich guy taking care of his hard worker and her family, but unfortunately it is in the context of Epstein, so I don't get any of those warm fuzzies from the situation. Now, Epstein even goes as far as having Cecile DeJohn, the ex-US Virgin Islands First Lady, write a recommendation letter on behalf of Sierra to see if they can remediate the situation where Sierra got into a fight and got kicked out of the school. Slight tangent, I also found a recommendation letter one of Epstein's employees wrote on behalf of Sierra to see if they can get her accepted into Piney Woods in the first place. And the only reason I'm pointing this out is it mentions when Anna started working on the island, which is 2003, meaning she was under Epstein's employment for nearly 2 decades, and her girls basically grew up on the island. In 2003, Emery would have been 3 years old, and Sierra would have been 1 year old. After Sierra gets kicked out of school, Epstein and her have a pretty harsh exchange. She's basically begging to be allowed to come back home, and Epstein is saying, no, you need to learn to keep your promises to me and others. She's apologizing and saying she's never felt unsafe before, but now she feels like she's gonna die at school, and she really feels unsafe there, and the school's doing nothing about it. Epstein says that, again, she broke her agreement, and that he can no longer help her, that she has disappointed a lot of people, and that she should try to stay, but she can decide if she wants to leave, and if she leaves, that Epstein can no longer help her or her family. Which seems a little harsh for being kicked out of school. I mean, I read other interpretations online that Epstein had an agreement with her for Sierra bringing in other girls at the school to the island. And that is kind of Epstein's MO, using girls to bring in other girls. However, I can't really find any hard evidence for this, so as far as I'm concerned, this is just a theory. After Epstein got arrested, we really have no idea what happened to Emery. She has no social media presence that I can find, and you know what? Good for her. She's going to school. She seems to have a good head on her shoulders, so best of luck to her. If I were her, I would try to put as much distance between this Epstein stuff and myself as possible too. But Sierra is a different story. Even after Anna deleted her Instagram account, Sierra is still very public. She did change her username on Instagram, however, she has her full name in the description of her account and her first name in her user tag, so she wasn't too difficult to find. After Epstein's arrest, Sierra seems to be mostly having a good time, going out, enjoying herself. It looks like she has at least one kid now. Of course, I'm not going to show the children. And obviously, social media isn't the be-all and end-all about someone's life, but as far as I can tell, she's still continuing to live the good life. I don't exactly know how. She's recently bought a Mercedes. I'm not exactly sure how she's affording that, whether she's still in the game or not, but she has. I guess congrats. She's still hanging out on Epstein's island and using his pool 2 years after Epstein allegedly died. That's kind of odd. I mean, look at the date on the picture, 2021, so that is 2 years after he was arrested and allegedly died. As someone pointed out in the comments, if you look at the statue, that is in fact Epstein's pool on his island. There's a video of her kid in Epstein's pool. You guys are so savage. Someone wrote, "Bro, get your kid out of Epstein's pool." The last we've heard of Sierra, she had been arrested in Orlando, Florida at the start of February of this year for domestic touch/strike. According to the police report, there seems to have been some sort of an altercation between her and her boyfriend or baby daddy, where she threw an unknown liquid from a bottle at the guy. And finally, back to Anna Rodriguez. Look, she lived on that island for almost 2 decades. She had full access to every part of the island, including the cabanas and the bedrooms and the master bedroom and the tunnels. She was so well trusted by Epstein that she is given combinations to his black box, she cooks his food, and she is a full-time resident of the island, meaning she was there pretty much all the time. In my opinion, there is no way Anna Rodriguez did not know what was going on that island. When people talk about Epstein, they usually talk about power, but systems require managers, and managers know things. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, and I'll see you next week.